did not care about school. I actually had a teacher, she had my father, and I was so excited. And as soon as I walked in, I said, Miss Procopio, you had my father? She goes, Leonelli, I know. I'm not going to waste my time. You can't learn. You're dumb just like him. You all remember, this is back when they were allowed to say that stuff. I was so mad. If I knew what I know now, I would have just untied my shoe and retied it and said, well, how'd I do that? Maybe you just can't teach. But my shoes were Velcro. It's hard to sound smart when you're going, now hold on. You gotta pull the Velcro tight, Miss Procopio. That's the secret. The secret with Velcro. No, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. And I gotta say, it feels good to be around my peers, you know. And, that's what they said, I'm unable to learn. And did you know if you have a learning disability, what they do is they give you free college. If you can't learn, you get free college in America. Which sounds stupid, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. It's like, oh, that's why certain people are in the position of power. Thank you. Yeah, so I didn't care about school. I would mark down anything and turn it in. I got all F's, just F, 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 F. And my mother put it on the fridge. All F's. She'd be like, hey, my boy's consistent. Okay, I'm proud of my S-U-N. My mother was tough though. She didn't play. She used to hit us with a spatula. And I know a lot of y'all grew up in the 70s and stuff, and the 60s, and you're like, you got hit with a spatula and you're crying? My father used to punch me in the mouth. But at least you could go to school and lie about it and say you got jumped. I got hit with a spatula. What am I going to say? I got jumped by a hibachi gang? She beat my brother with a spatula so bad to this day, he makes eggs with a fork. Oh yeah, she used to say, don't make me count to 3. All she ever had to do was go 1, and we knew. You know, and when we were out to eat, she ordered for everybody. Me, my brother, my dad, and my dad's friend Hank. She'd be like, they're all having the chicken fingers. Hank would be like, I'm 53, I'm not eating a 1. I better get some barbecue sauce this time. She said, you're acting spoiled. That was her favorite phrase. You know, we had to do a book report on college ruled paper. You ain't going to college, you're acting spoiled. Some paper out the scrap drawer. So I turned in a book report on eviction notice. And then, you know, my mother actually passed away, and it was a sad time, but I feel like everybody should be in love, and my father's a great guy, and I wanted to see him happy and in love again, so I set him up with a girl when I was 13. I did. And I made him call her. I didn't want to see my dad laying around crying. Plus, I wanted to get him out of the house. And I set him up with this nice girl. She's from Lebanon. And if you don't know, she's Arabic, okay? And a lot of people back then, when I set them up, there was a lot of stereotypes around Arabic people. And my friends couldn't come over my house because their parents said, no, his mother's Arabic. They're dirty, warlike people. And I'm like, what? She's always cleaning. Her assault rifle? And you know, my father, I'll tell you, my father, he's one of those dads, he's got a short temper. And I get it from him, the schooling and stuff. He wasn't good at school either. My father would fix up old cars. That was his thing. He's good with his hands. He didn't mess with the books. But that's a respectable thing. You could work with your hands. That's a good thing. And that's a different type of smart. Everybody's special in their own ways. And I was so proud of my dad being able to fix up these old beat up cars. He'd make them look brand new when he's done with a car. It looks brand new. And I was like, wow, it's amazing when I was a kid. And I wanted to be just like them. And we had career day at school, you know, and they'd go around the class and they'd ask the kids, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, most kids want to be like their parents. They asked the kid in the front row. He stood up, my friend Jimmy, he stands up. He goes, when I become an adult, I want to be a fireman just like my daddy. And the class was like, yeah, Jimmy, woo! They went to the next kid right behind them. They said, what do you want to be when you grow up, Jimmy? You know, it's a Catholic neighborhood, and Jimmy number 2 stands up, and he goes, when I mature to adulthood, I'm going to be a surgeon just like my father. And the class erupted. They said, whoa, Jimmy! Kids are banging on the desk, yeah, Jimmy! I was so excited, I jumped up out of my seat. It wasn't even my turn yet. And teacher said, what, Tom? I'm like, look, I'm sorry, my name's not Jimmy, but I got dreams too. I want to be just like my father, and when I grow up, I want to fix old beat-up rusty cars. And that's how quiet the class got. And my teacher said, what? That's not a job. You can't make any money doing that. I'm like, yeah, you can if you steal them. I ended up getting a job at his work. He would paint the cars and restore them in one area, and then I would detail them at a car dealership. And, you know, I'll tell you, when you're detailing cars, or you do good with your hands, or you can fix cars, you got a whole lot more friends. Everybody wants their car detailed. And I remember, man, I used to be avoiding people, man. And even at church, I used to try to sit in the back. I didn't want people coming up to me. And you know, my mother's real religious, and she made me go up there all the time, you know, to be saved. And she pushed me up there, and I go up with the priest. And it is a nervous thing, I'll be honest with you. I was scared to do as a kid. Crowds used to scare me, man. And I'm up there with the priest, you know. He's like, are you ready to be saved, young man? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, come here, and he puts his arms around me. He says, can you detail my car? Yeah, then I detailed there for a while, man. And they moved me up to sales, and they thought I could sell cars. They didn't, you know, certain things you need to know how to do when you're in sales. It's an art form. Like, you need to know how to read, you know, how to sit at a desk with your mouth closed. Just things a lot of people don't do normally, you know. No, my first customer, she was so mean. She had this mean scowl on her face. And in sales, you have to keep getting your boss and getting stuff okayed and finance. And she thought I was messing up. She's like, you messed up again? You know, I'll never forget the scowl on her face. You know, what'd you do before you sold cars? And I told her, I said, I worked in detail. Detail? For how long? I said, about 6 years. 6 years? Well, did you learn anything? I said, yeah, your eyebrows need trimmed.